Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. If we see anyone logging in, we'll just accept them as we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our first installment of our interactive series. My name is Sergio Arellano. I'm the International Sales Manager for McElroy in Asia Pacific.
And I am Sergio Gibrin, and I am the International Tech Service Manager for Asia Pacific and Asia, Europe, Africa, and everywhere else. All right. So today we're going to start, and we divide this session in mainly three parts. So we will start with Sergio. He's going to explain everything about features of the Datalogger. Then I'm going to come in again, and I'm going to start talking about the Datalogger features, but I'm going to explain you everything of how to set it up. Okay, so you're going to see the screen of the Datalogger, and you're going to be able to see how to set up the Datalogger, how to do a joint, and that sort of thing. And then Sergio will come back again, and he will go into the bolt, and he will explain what the bolt is and how to load the joints into the bolt and how to see that information online. So we hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I leave you with Sergio and his first presentation, all right?
Okay, guys. All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Datalogger and what the Datalogger does, why we use Dataloggers, and what they do for us. As many of you know, accountability is growing in construction job sites. So there's been an increasing demand to document everything related to construction sites. There's even standards that specify how to document and some general guidelines on how we should document construction sites. So these accountability is increasing not only for the contractors building the pipeline, but also for the asset owner, for the owner of the pipeline. So the Datalogger provides an easy way to document all this. Basically, what the Datalogger is a computer that we connect to the fusion machine when doing the welds. In the 90s, McElroy came up with the concept of the Datalogger in fusion joints, and we've gone through several versions of the Datalogger. The Datalogger that we use currently is the Datalogger 6. Basically what the Datalogger does is it provides a way to measure mainly the pressure of the pressure being applied in that weld. It has a pressure sensor, and it records the pressure coming out of the fusion machine just to make sure that we are complying with the welding standard. Not only we can record the pressure coming out of the machine, but we will be able to record a lot of data for every single joint. Recording that pressure, we can see all the steps of the fusion process. Here we can see the beat up step where we hit that heater with full pressure. Then we have the heating phase where we drop the pressure and we want that pipe to be in contact with a heater for a specific time, depending on the pipe and and the welding standard. There's here you can see the open and close time, and we can also see the cooling time. So by monitoring all these, we can assure that we're complying to the welding standard. The Datalogger can record the fusion process on nearly all McElroy fusion machines. Originally, it was developed for hydraulic fusion machines, but now we can put in data from manual fusion machines, sidewall fusion. We can even nowadays we can even record pressure tests. So if you're going to pressure test your pipe, you can also record it with the Datalogger. Also, the Datalogger combined with the Datalogger Vault, they provide a very easy way to document and archive essential information from the welding process. Information like operator, the machine, GPS locations, pictures, all this is archived not only in the Datalogger, but in the Datalogger Vault, which is our online database where you can process, analyze, and report all of this information for each weld. Also, it allows us to analyze this data not only after it has been acquired, but during the welding, during the fusion process. The pressure graph, the Datalogger provides us with fusion guide graphs, which highlight specific steps in the welding process. For example, here you can see a green window highlighting the heating phase, a red window highlighting the open and close time, and another window highlighting the cool time. You can see these real time as well. So it also coaches the operator during the welding process. So it provides a very easy way to analyze the data after it's been acquired and during the actual welding process. It also provides a very user-friendly interface. Nowadays, we're used to tapping on our phones or on our tablets to open and operate apps. We've recreated that with the Datalogger 6. So it provides very easy and user-friendly buttons that you can operate even while wearing gloves. Also, it provides a simple step-by-step process that the operator can follow during the fusion procedure. It provides large buttons and on-screen instructions in case the operator is not sure of what to do. And it supports different types of fusion. It provides butt fusion, sidewall, miter, or even dual commitment fusion where you have two pipes at the same time. And it also provides on-screen help on some steps of the welding process. If the operator is not 100% on what to do, just by clicking on the question mark, the Datalogger will provide information about that specific part of the process. For example, if the operator can't remember exactly how to do a shift sequence, just clicking on the question mark for that step, it'll show you a video on, okay, you have to move the selector valve to heating, and then the directional valve neutral, so the operator providing very useful help for the operator. It provides also a barcode scanner. If you want to scan the pipe, if the pipe has barcodes, it provides an easy way to scan the pipe to minimize operator error by punching in the wrong size of pipe, SDR, etc. Also, it's a very rugged tablet. We have experience from past versions of Dataloggers where the operators would somehow crack the screens, run over the Datalogger with the welding. So there was a big possibility of damaging the screen or something on the Datalogger itself. The new Datalogger 6 is a very rugged tablet, and so far we haven't replaced any screens on any Datalogger 6s anywhere in the world. So, but if you manage to crack it, we'll replace it for you. It has a 3-year bump-to-bump warranty. It's also IP67 water resistant and dust resistant, so very, very rugged. It also provides long battery life, so you can operate the Datalogger for an entire workday with no problem. It also provides front and rear cameras. We know for experience that pictures can help in a big way in the quality control of the weld. So you can take pictures of yourself or take pictures of any part of the welding process, like high-low alignment or a picture of bead, anything that can help quality control. As I said, it's very user-friendly and it has in-app reference. It also captures GPS locations. It will record the GPS location of the place where that fusion was done. And when uploaded to the vault, you can see those GPS coordinates in Google Maps. So that's a very handy feature for the asset owner, especially because they can see real time where the pipeline is evolving. And another very cool feature is that you can actually re-tag these GPS coordinates. We know that you guys normally do the welds and sometimes move the pipe and put it in the trench or somewhere else. So you can actually go back and re-tag these GPS coordinates once the pipe is in the trench or in its final place. Also, pictures are part of each individual data log report. So we know internally different companies have different quality procedures. For example, they would want to take a picture of the high-low before high-low alignment before welding, or a picture of the bead after it's completed. Sometimes there's a requirement to take a picture of the bead and the signature of the operator, or the welder's certificate. Anything internally is required. It's very easy to do with just pictures, and it assists big time in the quality control. And all of these pictures are part of each specific log report. So Datalog also synchronizes wirelessly with the vault. Whenever there is Wi-Fi connection or cellular connection, after you finish a weld, it will be sent automatically to the vault. If there is no reception, when you come back to the camp or the office where there's Wi-Fi signal, as soon as you turn on the Datalogger, all this information will be pushed up to the vault. If you have cellular reception, in the construction site. All this information will be uploaded in real time. So very cool feature as well. I'll talk a little bit about the bolt later on when I come back. But for now, Sergio is going to talk about the Datalogger itself, how to set it up, what you do in what you would do in an actual weld. Even though we're not going to do an actual weld, you'll go through the whole setting up procedure, what you do in an actual weld. So I'll leave you with Sergio. Sergio Water, by the way.
Yeah. Mainly known as Sergio 2, and he is Sergio 1. Alright guys, so I'm going to be talking about how to set up the Datalogger. Okay, so let me share the screen of the Datalogger with you. Here you go. So now you can see the screen of my Datalogger. Okay, so I have the Datalogger and I'm going to be showing you how to go step by step to set up your weld. Okay, so first thing we're gonna open the Datalogger app, which is here on your right. Okay, so we're just gonna open that, and then we are gonna go to settings. Okay, so this is the main screen of the Datalogger app. We're gonna go to settings. All right, and here we have, preference, for example. We can open that up and we can see, the language. If you require to set up, if you require the photos to be, an obligation for the operator to put it in, you just click yes in this section here, okay? But if you don't want them to be an obligation, you just leave it like no. Okay? You can still take the photos, but it's not an obligation. All right. You can also see if you want to keep if you want the joint retention. So when you abort the joint, you want to save the joint, you want to keep it, or you want to delete it. Okay. So if you keep that as a yes, then you are able to keep any aborted joints you might do. Okay. The pressures you can select. Bar or any other units, temperatures as well. How many readings per side of the heater you would like to add into your weld report? Okay, so if you want to have 4 readings per side of the heater, you can just add that in there. If you want to choose 2 readings per side of the heater, you can add that as well. Okay, obviously the units of the temperature measurements are also a part of here. And if you want to do the joint report at the end of the fusion process, you are also able to do this by clicking yes on the review after fusion section here. Okay, the file naming. This is just cool feature of the bolt. Of the Datalogger, and it's a way to record joints. Okay, so how you want that report to be recorded on your board and as a file. Okay. All right. Let's go back now. So we got operators. So if you click operators, you can add as many. Okay. So for example, here's me. I call myself 31, but that's not true. I'm 32. Okay. So I'm just gonna save that and give myself there. System. This is just backup data, restore data, factory reset, delete all the joint reports, and if you have any SD card installed in Datalogger, which we recommend to do this, so you can have a backup of all the joints into that SD card. Okay. The vault. Here's where you put your username and password. So all the information is going directly into your vault account. Okay. So whatever the username and password you put in here, all the joints are going to be uploaded into that account. Okay. So you can click verify account, and the Datalogger will verify that account. Okay, so if it's successful, then you are able to upload the joints automatically after every joint is finished. Okay, so click done. The machines here, you can see all the machines that you have added into this system. Okay, you can add as many machines as you want. So you can add any machine model, so you can select from this list. Okay, then you can select a machine name. You can name it as you wish, and then you can add serial number and vehicle serial number as well. Okay, so you can keep some traceability of which machines you are using for doing this well. And you click done. And also you have some diagnostics, which this is, if we require you to do this, we'll maybe require you to send diagnostics data to us. So we'll ask you to click on this button that says send diagnostic data to McElroy. Okay, so click on there. And then here, Datalogger version 1.16 with 39. And you can check if it's the latest version by clicking on that button. And it will automatically check for you and say Datalogger software issued today. Okay, if it's out of date, it will let you know, and it will let you know what's the latest update on the Datalogger. But it will do it automatically as well. So every time you connect the Datalogger to the Wi-Fi on your office, it will automatically check for the latest update of the Datalogger software. Okay, we're done with the settings, and now let's start. Let's check the vault verify accounts. Vault verification was successful. Click done. You see the vault now doesn't have that yellow symbol there. So now we can start our joint. Okay, now this is the job summary page, and here you can see you can see the process type, for example. So we pick process type. We can do pipe fusions, or we can do pressure testing. Okay. For the presentation of today, we're gonna be doing only pipe fusion. Okay. If you are interested in knowing more about this, just let us know. We can probably schedule another meeting and do a whole other presentation about these other subjects. Okay. We click next. Then the joint ID. Let's do number 1 for now. Click save. Okay. Then the job, we just called it test in Zoom. Okay, just for the time being. Then the operator, we can select the operator we want. I'm gonna select myself there. So click next. And then the machine, we can select, among the machines we might have here. So I'm just gonna select that Trackstar 900 high force. Okay. I'm gonna click next. Then if you want, you can see here operator's manual. So if you want to, you can download the operator manual of that machine by just clicking on that button, and you have that downloaded in PDF into the tablet, and you can check that manual anytime you want. Okay. As well, you can activate the using image kit, or if you're doing a tiny as well, you can just add that, and that will appear in the joint report. Okay. So I just want to mention that below it says sensor, here at the bottom it says sensor disconnected 0 bar. Just because I don't have my Datalogger connected to the machine, and that's why it's reading 0. Okay, 0 pressure. All right, so we click next, and now we are in the fusion process page. In this fusion process page, we can select the fusion type. So in this case, we have the option of selecting butt fusion, sidewall, meter, and dual container. Again, for the presentation of today, we're going to be doing butt fusion only. All right. The specification, you can select, as many as they appear here. But for example, for Australia and for most of the Asia Pacific area, we're going to be using ISO 21307 single high force. So bear in mind that you have 3 ISOs, okay? And so you need to be sure you select the single high one, okay? So single high interfacial pressure. Next. We click next again. And here is where you can add a set of photos. So because we have the preference of not an obligation to other photos, we can skip this step, or we can add photos if we want. The Datalogger has a capability of photos as selfie or taking just normal photos. Okay, please click next. Now we are on the weather condition page on the Datalogger. So here you can change the ambient temperature. Okay, so this is cool. This is very good because you can know in the report what we're having when we're doing the weld. So in this case, we're just gonna leave the ambient temperatures as probably 25 degrees now. The pipe temperature, you can just leave it at maybe 30. Sometimes the pipe temperature is higher than the ambient temperature because of the sun is directly applied to the pipe. So it's a good practice just to check both of them, okay? The weather conditions, it can be sunny, cloudy, rainy, snow, any of those. You can also add if there's wind or not, or you can just put the weather condition you want in there, okay? So we click next, and the type of shelter, it could be non, tent, or an indoor, okay? So let's leave it indoor for now. Now we go to the next page. Here's where you add the pipe settings, okay? So very important page. Here we're going to be adding the information of welding, okay? So let's select, for example, the pipe OD. In this case, we're going to be using a 630 millimeters OD pipe, okay? Just make sure that you select the right standard for that pipe, okay? So if you're using inches IPS or millimeters OD, okay, or inches the IPS, because it will vary the calculation for your pressures, okay? So really critical to select the right standard for your pipe. Click next, we'll leave it like that, and then the pipe material, we're going to be using P100, okay? You can select whatever the material you're going to be using to weld with fusion, okay? And then we can also do, if we're going to be welding to a similar pipe, to the same pipe, or if we're going to be welding to a dissimilar pipe. In some occasions, this is allowed in the process. So if this is allowed for you and you need to do it, you can select the dissimilar pipe, and then the Datalogger is going to ask you for the measurements of that different pipe. Okay. You can also use the scan barcode. So if your pipe has a barcode on it, you can definitely use that. And the Datalogger has a window here where you can scan the barcode with. So if you click that, it will allow you to scan that barcode and just instantly upload information from that barcode into the Datalogger itself. Okay. All right. The wall thickness is also very important. Okay. So here you can select whether it's an SDR, for example, in this case we have SDR 11, or you can also put that in inches or in millimeters of wall thickness, okay? Just remember, it has to be the minimum wall thickness of that pipe, okay? That's very important, because that's what determines the pressure of that pipeline, all right? Click next, click save, next. And now we are in the process where we are showing the interfacial pressures that the standard is telling us, okay? And here is where we do the process to do the drag pressure measurement, okay? So really important to measure the drag every time you're going to be doing a fusion, okay? Because drag might vary depending on the length of that pipe you're going to be fusing and depending on the conditions, okay? So very important to do the drag measurement every time. And you can select, measure drag. And now it says, as you can see, it says 0 in here. And that's because that's my actual reading. And that's because I don't have the machine connected to the Datalogger, okay? And the previous drag, it was 3.1. So I can utilize that if I want. So for the time being, I'm just going to use my previous drag as 3.1, okay? And I'm going to click next. Now, here is prepare the machine page. So here's where operators will go directly into the machine, into the manifold, and they're gonna add the pressures that the Datalogger is telling you here into your machine. So you're gonna add 31.17 bars. You're gonna add that on the infusion pressure valve, okay? And then your heat soak, which is your drag, should be already in there. Okay. Now the current pressure again is 0 because I'm not. Okay. So now we're gonna click next, and here we are on the temperature page. So if you remember when we were doing the preference selection, we just left it as 2 measurements per side, and so that's what we are getting here. Okay. So 2 measurements on side A, so we can add. We click on the one of them, all right, we put, let's say, 205, and on the other one we put 209, okay? And that, remember, you need to do this with a pyrometer. Okay, you need to grab your pyrometer and check directly on the surface of your butt plate. Okay, and check the temperature and check that you are within the range. You have to be within 200 to 230, always aiming to be at 215. Now we hit flip the heater, and we can add the temperatures of the other side of the heater. Okay, and we can add, for example, 220 and 219 on the other side. Okay, so we just add the 4 temperatures measurements, readings, and we just add it into the Datalogger. Now we're going to click next. And now we are on the final review and the preparation for starting our weld. Okay, so here's where we go, the current pressure, the heating temperature, which should be between 200 to 230. We just check that, so that's fine. We need to make sure that we have our fusion pressure at 31.17 bar, and that 1 millimeter that is next to it is telling you that you need to get at least 1 millimeter bead all around the pipe on both sides, okay, while you're doing the heat up process. All right. Then we got the heat soak, which is at 3.1 bar or drag pressure, okay, and that should last about 10 minutes and 30 seconds, okay. And now then you go to your minimum bead, and that will be 9.6 millimeters. So the minimum bead, remember, after your heat soak, you need to get at least 9.6 millimeters. That's an indication, okay, that the standard tells you, so you know that the heat soak was done properly, okay. So that's why it's important to make sure you meet these 2 conditions, okay? So the time and the minimum bead size, all right? Then you got your fuse and cool pressure, which again is the same pressure as in the bead up process. So it's 31.17 bar, and then this cooling time will last for 24 minutes and 37 seconds, okay? And just remember the opening and close time for this standard is going to be at 25 seconds. So you have 25 seconds to actually open the carriage, remove the heater, and bring the pipes against each other to actually make the fusion. Okay. So if you would like to start the fusion, now you have to put your heater inside. Okay, and just make sure you are ready to close your pipe at full pressure. We start the fusion process, and then we wait, like 5 seconds or so, and then we can close the pipe against the heater to start our heater process. Again, this is, as you can see, the pressure is being recorded here live, so the actual operator can actually see the graph in real time, all right, as well as all the setup and fusion settings on top of the graph. Okay, he will also be able to read the the real pressure that he's getting and the time that it has elapsed, okay? And also he can reset the timer every time he goes from one process to another, okay? So let's say that we finish with the beat up process, and we're starting our heat soak time process, then we can just reset the timer, okay? And by resetting the timer, we can start counting the 10 minutes and 30 seconds for the heat soak, okay? All right, so this is basically, how you will do, the joint process every time. And as you can see, it was very easy, it was very guided. So there is no, there's no room for mistakes here. And that's one of the pretty cool things about using the Datalogger 6, okay? So now once you finish your joint, you can just click on, and you can confirm that this joint is completed, okay? And then you can add any notes like tests, for example, and then just click next and add a photo of the final product, okay? So if you, for example, want to take a couple of pictures of the final bead, okay, that will be a good idea. So you can add that in here. Since we don't have that as an obligation, we just skip this page. And click next. Now you get the joint report page, and in here you can just check, all the information of that joint, okay, and the operator can just do this, right, just to make sure everything was done, accordingly to what he was supposed to be doing. and also you can check the graph. Obviously, the graph here will not show properly because I didn't follow. I was not reporting real pressures. Okay, but in here you will. The Datalogger will show you the colors with the graph, so the operator can actually correlate what he has done with what the standard was recommending for that pipe side with that machine. Okay, and so that's very important for him because this is the first step or the second step of quality assurance in this process, and it's really critical. Okay, because he can realize now that he maybe has done something wrong, and he can just go back, cut the pipe, and redo it. All right, and then also he can check the photos that he has taken, and then he can click next, and you can start the process again. Okay. Now, if that yellow thing appears in there, then you just verify your account. Sometimes the Wi-Fi here maybe it's not as good as we want to, but yeah, if you're able to verify the account, then the Datalogger will automatically upload the information into the cloud. Okay. So yeah, so this is all about how to set up your Datalogger and how to do it done. So now I'm gonna leave you with Sergio, who is gonna explain you a little bit more about how to get the information from the Datalogger into the vault, and how to use the vault for verifying your wells. Okay. All right. No worries.
All right, so we'll talk about the vault account real quick, about the Datalogger vault. As Sergio was saying, as soon as you finish your well, that well will automatically be uploaded onto the vault, where we can store all of this information and analyze it, sort it, do reports, anything we need to do with that information. So the idea of the Datalogger vault is for us to make it easy for us to look at that information. Many times that information is recorded. We get calls from customers that have done wells months ago, and that we and they haven't been recorded. So I'm logging into my vault account right now. Bear with me.
Yep. Just click log in there.
Okay. So what you will see is I'm just logging into my vault account. As you can see, it's a bit slow. It's on the weather. All right, here you go. So this is what you would see if you, this is what you would see when you log into your vault account. So you have all your tests, all your job sites, and so all the wells will be sorted by job names or by machines. You can see the machines, all the wells that have been done by a specific machine or by an operator. Or you can also tag groups of wells if you want to, for example, send a group of wells to be reviewed by someone. So you can tag and store wells by different fields, but typically they're stored by job name. So if we click on any of these jobs, for example, this job here from the training in Mongolia, you can see that in that job we have 4 welds. If we click on one of them, we have all the information for that specific weld in one report. So as we said earlier, you have a pressure graph. You have different tabs with different information. You will have a pressure graph which shows you all the steps of the welding process. Here, for example, we can see, we talked about a little bit about this before. Here you can see your bead up. You can zoom into any of these specific areas as well, which is pretty cool and very easy to review. You can then reset your zoom. That green window is the heating time. So basically we need to check that that pressure is in the green window for at least the specified time in the welding standard. Yeah. Also, we have the open and close time, which in this case is 12 seconds. So basically, we need to open the machine, take out the heater, and put close the machine again within 12 seconds. And there's another window that specifies the cooling time, or the time that the pipe has to be on pressure during the welding time. So basically, the operator will see these real time, and it'll tell him if these parameters are within spec. Also, if you hover onto the curve, the pressure curve, you'll see that it will tell you the time and the pressure value at that specific moment. So another part of that report is pictures. As we said earlier, pictures can be a very helpful tool in the quality control. In this case, it's just a random picture, but as we said earlier, we could have a picture of the bead, a picture of the high-low, or whatever. And also the GPS coordinates, we can see the GPS coordinates for that specific weld. Since this was just a training exercise, it's just on the holding yard there in the mine. So you can see these in Google Maps. That's the actual mine there, that's the holding yard. So that's a very handy feature for the asset owner, because they can keep track of what's going on, or for whoever is at the office do the quality control for the contractor. We can also see the job summary, which has all the information about that weld, the job name, the machine number, the machine model, the operator, the welding standard that we used. So all of this is stored as part of that specific Datalogger report. So if we go back to that job, we can see also a very nice feature of the Vault is that the Datalogger Vault software will analyze those welds, and it will choose all the ones that are good, and it will accept them. And if it sees something that you should review for any specific weld, it will tag them as reviewed. Some of these welds, so this is just a training exercise. Most of these were aborted. So I'll just go ahead and click on one of these that were aborted. So the Vault will not pass them or fail them for you, but it tells you to go and look at them. For example, in this case, it's telling you the open time is okay, the temperature was okay, the calibration for the Datalogger is okay, but you have to look at these two. The soak time, which is the heating time, and the cool time. If you look at the heating time here, it looks very rough. And also the cool time here looks very bad because that joint was avoided, but it's telling you to look go at that joint and look at it. As I said, it will not pass or fail it. It's up to you to pass it or fail it. I'll go ahead and reject it because it's a bad weld. Now if we go back to our job, it'll show that joint has been rejected. So, so very cool feature. Typically, you will get out of 20 welds, it'll show 19 good ones and 1 to review. So if you have a slight spike on the pressure graph and you think that's okay, sometimes it gets spikes when opening and closing the machine, little things like that. You can go ahead and accept it or reject it. That's, as I said, that's a very cool feature that makes it easy to look at all this information. Apart from recording this information, we want you guys to be able to look at it. Make it easy for you to look and review all this information. So if you're doing these, we just go and click on one, review it, and then you can click on next, and then carry on. So we'll review all of them if you want. Ideally, you would review all of them. But yeah, so that's a quick overview of the Datalogger Vault and how it makes analyzing and reviewing all these data very easy. That's all we have for today. We hope you liked this initial live series. We hope if you have any questions, put them on the chat, and we'll go through them with you guys. We will be doing more specific presentations on the board, on the Datalogger itself, how to do a proper joint, more dedicated topics. So yeah, hope you like the presentation and stay tuned for more.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Take care, yeah?
Yeah, there's no questions, so we're going to go ahead and log in. Please email us if you have any specific questions, or give us a phone call. We'll call you back, or no, let us know. We'll call you back.
Or if you would like any other subject to be, taught by us or anything like that, just let us know, and we'll try to produce, another presentation for you. Okay? So take care out there, guys. Bye now.
Yeah.